Hello, it is Alex, the Bookubus, and I am bringing you a little Giallo July vlog. Figured we'd do a little mid-month check-in. Right now it is the 4th of July and I have watched 2 Giallo films so far. The Fifth Chord, which was awesome, highly recommend, and The Black Belly of the Tarantula, which was pretty good too. There is, behind me there's like a giant like plastic envelope thing which is full of yarn. I ordered some yarn recently, which I'm pretty excited about. In fact, I'm going to show you it. So I've got some of this one. This is all from Hirschner's and it's their Halloween sparkle yarn. This one is called Witch's Brew, and check that out, amazing. And then we've also got this one with like different greens. This one is called Goblin. I had to get that one. And it also fits in with Giallo July. And this one, which is like purples and oranges. And this one is called Sorcerer. So yeah, pretty excited to start working on those. Hello, it is now the weekend. It is Saturday, July the 6th. It's very hot, so I'm a big sweaty mess, but more importantly, I just wanted to catch you up on the book that I did finish already. I finished this a few days ago. This is The Benson Murder Case by S.S. Van Dyne. It originally came out in 1926, so almost 100 years ago. And this is your classic, you know, whodunit murder mystery affair, and we're following this wealthy art collector dude who, you know, has nothing better to do with his time, I guess, than help out with this crime that has taken place. This Wall Street guy has been found murdered in his home, and of course our main character, Philo Vance, knows who did it immediately on seeing the scene of the crime, but you know, doesn't tell anyone. He, you know, has to string the whole thing out for a while, while the police and whatnot look into other suspects and stuff. Anyway, this was okay. I did like some elements to it, and I did like how everything came together at the end, with the reveal of who the actual killer was. But yeah, the kind of like middle chunk, I found it dragged pretty hard. It was quite repetitive and drawn out, it felt, and it was very dialogue heavy as well. So it was just like these kind of like seemingly never ending conversations that were going on. So yeah, not my favourite, but still glad I gave it a try, and I ended up giving this one 3 stars. So the second book that I picked up is this one, The Aosawa Murders by Riku Onda. This is a book that was originally published in Japanese, and this is a translated version into English. And yeah, this one I started a couple of days ago and I'm really enjoying it. This one definitely feels like it's more at the literary end of crime fiction, and it's about an incident that took place some years ago. There was a party and a bunch of the people at the party were poisoned and died, and yeah, there was like one daughter of the family who survived. It's really interestingly laid out, like each chapter is kind of focusing on a different character that has some kind of relation to this crime. But it's all like looking back on it having happened many years ago kind of thing. Yeah, really interesting, enjoying the writing style, and I'm really curious to see where this goes. I'm about a third of the way in at the moment. So yeah, it is Saturday afternoon here and it's really hot, but I think I'm going to go sit outside somewhere in the shade for a little bit, just to get some outdoor fresh air and yeah, do some reading. It is now Sunday, July the 7th, and I thought I would catch you up a little bit on the films that I've watched so far. So I've managed to watch 5 films off my watch list thus far, and I started off with The Fifth Chord, which was actually my favourite of the ones I've watched so far, so started off strong. Yeah, that one was just, yeah, exactly what I wanted in a Giallo film. It is beautifully shot, like the cinematography is absolutely wonderful, and it stars the very handsome Franco Nero, so I definitely didn't mind watching him. And yeah, enjoyed the story, and it's one that isn't stylish in the sense of like the colourful like Bava Argento style, but still the lighting and the use of like light and shadow and stuff was really well done. Yeah, lots of great locations and just really wonderful shots, so definitely recommend that one if you haven't seen it. And let's see, what else did I watch? The Black Belly of the Tarantula, which was good, enjoyed it. Yeah, not quite as good as The Fifth Chord, but still an enjoyable one that I would recommend. The House of the Yellow Carpet, which was, yeah, a bit of a different one, not your typical kind of, you know, people getting picked off and figuring out who the killer is type of scenario. This one was actually based on a play. I only realised this at the end because it said so, but once I knew that, it totally made sense because it's a really small cast and it pretty much all takes place in one location. So it's about this couple that are trying to sell this carpet, and then this guy comes in wanting to buy it. There's a bit of like a home invasion situation going on. Yeah, more of like a kind of psychological drama / thriller, but I enjoyed this one too. And then I watched Disco Path, which was a more recent one. This came out in like 2013, and I believe it is a Canadian production. Yeah, I'd seen this come up in lists when I was looking for some more recent Giallo films to add to my watch list. I personally wouldn't really call it Giallo. It was more just kind of like generally 70s, 80s exploitation film kind of style. And it was okay. Not my favourite though. It just really didn't hold my interest. It did have, you know, it had its moments, and it did have some good gory moments, you know, low budget style, which is always fun. But yeah, not one I'm gonna really recommend, I guess. And then last night we watched The Laughing Woman, which is from 1969. And again, this is not your typical Giallo, but it's one that kind of came up in lists when I was looking around. This is mostly just 2 characters. There are a couple of others that pop up, but it's mainly focused on this man and woman, and he has kidnapped her and is kind of like playing out all of his, you know, weird sex games with her and mind games and stuff. And yeah, anyway, it's hard to say too much about it, but it has some interesting commentary on gender and that kind of battle of the sexes kind of scenario. Yeah, great sets, yeah, very 60s, so that was really cool. And yeah, I enjoyed the performances and the story. It was a little slow, but I enjoyed it, and yeah, it had some kind of crazy moments as well, which is always really cool. So yeah, that's it so far for the movie watching. This morning I had a somewhat leisurely morning to start with. I had a coffee with my Italian sweet cream creamer. Yes, I did specifically get that for Giallo July. And then I got on the treadmill, which is something I just started doing earlier this year, I think in like February. But yeah, I haven't really been doing really any exercise for a good couple of years or so now, and it's kind of like, yeah, I'm realising I really should get back into it. So yeah, invested in a treadmill, and so far so good. Yeah, I've mostly been doing like a 30-minute run, plus like a warm up and warm down walk either side. 3 times a week. So yeah, other than a couple of times when I was not feeling very well, I've managed to keep up with that 3 times a week, which I'm really proud of. So yeah, I knocked out my session this morning, which was fine. And then yeah, I've just been kind of doing some adulting for the rest of the day so far, which is boring but necessary. And yeah, I think now it's time for some lunch, and then hopefully I've got the afternoon to myself to just do whatever. So hopefully I will at least get some reading in, and yeah, we will see. It's Sunday afternoon and I decided to start a new crochet project because why not? And I'm going to use this amazing Halloween yarn that I just recently got, and this one is called Goblin, which I feel is very fitting for Giallo July. So yeah, I am going to try and make a cushion cover. I found a pattern online and got my little crochet hook kit. So yeah, this is telling me I need this one, number 4. So and it's green as well, so perfect. It's like it's meant to be. Wish me luck. Made a little tuna niçoise salad tonight. It's not Italian, but it still looks good and will hopefully be tasty. Hello, it is now Tuesday evening. I'm home from work, and I just wanted to catch you up on me having finished the Aosawa Murders by Riku Onda. This was really, really good. I actually finished it last night, but yeah, yesterday was just kind of a day, and yeah, wasn't really feeling like filming anything, but really enjoyed this. This novel is told in a really interesting way. It's separated into different sections and from different perspectives, and some of them are more in like kind of like presented in like a one-sided conversation, and then there's also some excerpts from a book that was written about the crime some years later, and then also some details about the woman who wrote the book. And then we also hear from like the detective who worked on the case. Yeah, I really enjoyed the way this was written, although I know it wouldn't be for everyone, but personally I thought it was really good. Yeah, so this was a really great read. Definitely more your literary end of like the crime genre. But yeah, I thought this one was excellent. I gave it 4 stars. I found these Italian ice things and thought they looked pretty exciting. So I'm going to try one of these. I'm very excited. I got blue, raspberry and cherry. It is now Tuesday night. I had my blue raspberry Italian ice, which was quite delightful, and I watched Sleepless, directed by Dario Argento. It's one of his that I hadn't seen before. I went in with pretty low expectations, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, lots of gory kills, and yeah, a bit of a wacky storyline, and maybe a bit long, like almost 2 hours. But I had fun with it, so yeah. I don't know what my cat is doing in the background, but anyway, so I'm glad I checked that one out. And I also started Fade Out, my next read by Joseph Hansen. I just started this today, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's about an insurance investigator who is looking into a car accident where a car like went off a bridge. The car has been recovered, but the driver has not, and so he's having to look into whether he actually did die or whether something else happened. So yeah, so far so good. It is now Thursday evening, the 11th of July, and I just watched The Unknown Woman, which I'd seen in a list or somewhere of Giallo films. I wouldn't call it a Giallo film, but it was a pretty interesting drama slash thriller. Definitely a bit too long and a bit convoluted, but it was pretty good. And I also today finished reading Fade Out by Joseph Hansen, and this was really good too. It is now Friday evening, and after talking about the film last night, I started talking about the book that I had finished, but then the camera cut out. So anyway, I didn't have time to redo it, so here we are, Friday evening. I'm done with work. It's been a really long week for some reason, so I'm glad it is now the weekend. And I'm home, just had a cup of tea. It's like 30 something degrees Celsius, but I still need a cup of tea. And anyway, I finished Fade Out yesterday by Joseph Hansen, and this was really good. I really enjoyed it. I rated this one 4 stars. And it had a really good cast of characters. I liked the late 60s, early 70s vibes. The story, I didn't know where it was going to go, so that kept me interested, and it did get a bit emotional. So yeah, this was a good one, and not a super long one either. And there are more in this series. Dave Brandstetter is the main character. So yeah, I would absolutely check out more of the series, hopefully, at some point. And then today I started Dead Girl Blues by David Sodergren, and I'm doing a buddy read with a few people over on Instagram, so yeah, hopefully we will have fun with this. I just read the first section today, and so far so good. So yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes next. Anyway, it's Friday night, and I am probably going to have a drink and maybe do a Giallo double bill. So yeah, wild. I know. Also, I almost forgot somehow, but I am wearing my Giallo July t-shirts, and yay, representing. Quick update on my crochet. It's going to be a cushion cover at some point, but yeah, I've never worked with these yarns before that have the multicolours in them, but yeah, I really like how it's turning out. I like the different shades of green and the black and the sparkle, so yeah, I'm hopefully going to put in some more time on this over the weekend. Hello, it is now Saturday, the 13th of July, and I watched a Giallo double bill last night, which was fun. Started off with Strip Nude for Your Killer, which, yeah, definitely had plenty of stripping nude, and I enjoyed it. Not the best storyline maybe, but enjoyable enough. Then I watched Francesca, which was a more recent one, I believe 2015, and from Argentina. Definitely heavily inspired by 70s Giallo. They definitely did a great job with the style and the aesthetic of the whole thing. Story-wise, interesting, but I think maybe just the execution, it was kind of a bit patchy and didn't always hold my interest. But it did have a wacky ending, which I really liked. So yeah, still worth a watch. And also I finished another book. This was part of the Galloping Detective series. This is False Lead by Claire Birch. I found this in a thrift store a little while ago and figured it would be a good choice for the animal in the title or on the cover prompt. yeah, this was a fun little mystery about a girl who goes riding at a particular stables, and there are a bunch of robberies going on in homes of other people that are at the stables. So she starts thinking that maybe the stables is the connection and someone there is like tipping people off as to when these families are going to be away from home or something. Anyway, yeah, it was okay, enjoyable enough, but I probably wouldn't go out of my way to track down any more of the books in the series. But yeah, if you like vintage YA and you like horses, then you might want to check these out. And I started Dead Girl Blues by David Sodergren. I think I started this yesterday, yeah, Friday. I'm so lost with the days. And yeah, so far so good, and I'm looking forward to reading more of that. So yeah, so I think so far I've read 4 books off my TBR, and I'm currently on number 5, and I have watched 9 films off my watch list, which I'm pretty pleased with. So yeah, hopefully going to watch something else tonight, Saturday night movie, you know. So I'm going to wrap this vlog up for now, and yeah, try and get this edited and up soon, and I'm going to try and do another vlog for the next week or 2 as well. So yeah, we will see how that goes, and we'll see what other books and movies I can get to during that time. I hope that if you are joining in with Giallo July, you are having a good time with it. Let me know what you've been reading and watching. I would love to hear about that. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!